Okay, I'm connecting is live. I think we are live. We are live. We should be live. Let me check on my other computer. Yes, we are live.
Okay, hello. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I think we can. Let me check on other computer.
Okay. Yeah, I think the voice is shit because for some reason now I cannot connect the microphone that I have here. Just the
Yeah, it's the excuse today, guys, as per usual, is that Adam is traveling,
Yes,
so that's the excuse.
welcome to another stream of non-working audio. Yeah, I don't know. I actually traveled with like with like a microphone and it's not connecting for whatever reason to the Discord, so I will need to use the AirPods, which I can already hear they sound like complete shit, so sorry for that.
Maybe can you use just like
Um,
a native computer microphone? It should be much better.
uh, you think it's going to be better?
1,000 times than AirPods. Yes.
Wait.
People saying skill issue, they are not wrong.
Hello?
Oh yeah, beautiful voice.
Better.
10
Oh,
times.
wonderful. Nice.
AirPods are
Okay.
actually garbage for microphone.
Yeah. No, I bought this like a mini Razer traveling microphone because the one that I have at home is like weighs too much. Okay. So with that being said, I think we have another 10 minutes before my internet goes down. So hi everyone, welcome to the first stream of the 2024. Before we jump into things, we would like to thank the sponsor of our stream. As always, Woo is sponsoring the stream. If you want to show some love and some support, you can use the first link you'll find in the description. After you make a new account, open the first trade, you will get some of the benefits you very likely see at the bottom of the screen now. So with all of that being said, we can jump into some charts. Runner is going to quite literally run the show today because I'm afraid to start streaming because my internet will just die. So yeah, some thoughts on BTC. I think we can kind of join together on this. We finally had the ETF sell-off last week, at least a little bit. It was actually the trade that I managed to take, although during the travels and stuff, you know, the size and everything is not as ideal, but on the weekly chart, I think we took out like 2022 high or something like that. It was the
Yeah.
key level at 48.2, I believe, which was actually
It's a wake
over
from.
there. Yeah. It's like I think it's high. Yeah, it's that high. Yes. So yeah, decent higher time frame level. We had that kind of a, I believe that was like Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. The exact day when.
Wednesday was approval. Thursday was
Yeah,
launch and the inflows shit. So
yeah. So like Thursday, basically we hit that, I believe, and yeah, we had this kind of a classic, you know, people rushing into the trade. You know, it looked really good for a while, but then we had a little bit of sell off. Coming to this week, not much happened, to be fair. In last, 4 days, we had obviously weekend. We had a holiday in the US, the Martin Luther King Day or whatever that was. Um, so you know, we are basically going a little bit of sideways. I think, yeah, the range that you kind of have marked here would be a solid kind of place. I just hope, you know, we are not coming into this next several months of just sideways basically on BTC. But yeah, me personally, I'm looking at the last week low, which is that 41 300 ish K, basically to see if this shows some sort of follow through, because I believe for a lot of these candles, like we have a weekly candle, you know, this looks kind of horrible at the moment, and you know, obviously A lot of people on Twitter are looking at stuff like weekly close and how weekly candles are look like, and these kind of pin bar candles or whatever you want to call them. Obviously, people make a lot of decisions solely based on these. People just jumping into shorts, and obviously, if you have kind of shorted towards the end of the last week, you would be already in kind of a drawdown. So with a lot of these kind of rejection candles, these SFP candles, or whatever you want to call them, when you not get this kind of immediate follow through, it's pretty interesting kind of signal to go to the opposite side and actually move to the upside, solely because if you kind of think about that psychological, or whatever you want to call it, aspect of people just seeing a big red candle, jumping into shorts, and getting basically immediately squeezed, and the market just kind of squeeze them to the upside. So yeah, BTC, I don't know, it doesn't look super interesting at the moment from like technical point of view. I think also on like on order flow side of things on Velo, there's nothing really insane. I think yeah, like funding rates kind of normalized at some point. There's not anything, yeah, like no insane CVDs, and
Yeah.
and we obviously flushed decent amount of OI during that kind of sell-off towards the last week. So yeah, it's pretty much a waiting game, at least for me, especially since I'm not at home right now. I'm really looking to just pick the most obvious trades, which I don't think that there is one at the moment. But yeah, from like a solely psychological point of view of how last week's candle kind of look like, if this is not going to get any kind of follow through, then I think it can squeeze a little bit to the upside. And at the same time, if you would just start to break under last week low, it would be probably a decent signal of this is just going lower. And the kind of a weekly high being in the kind of price action that we have now, being basically high of the week, and kind of follow through on that to the downside.
I agree with you. Like on the weekly, I guess many people call them several ways. I guess one of the usual names is like inside weeks, right? Or like inside candles.
Yeah.
This is like number 6, which is ridiculous. Like I've actually went back and checked through like Bitcoin price action history. I don't think I could find like, at least from the perspective when me and you started actively trading this market, like BTC, I legitimately could not find like last 4 years a situation when we had, I guess you could call it like balance, right, as well. And such a long
Yeah.
balance could lead to imbalance. And I think I fully agree with what you said. Like we all kind of expected, is it going to be a sell the news? Is it not? We had all the CME people making most of the open interest, which is still the case. If I open CoinGlass, there's still like the majority open interest. It's by quite a lot actually,
Yeah.
which is quite surprising to me. I expected a bit more closing. If we go to Velo and I open the TradFi section, which is highly recommend, it's really, really useful. And do maybe like last 3 months only, because the ETF approval,
I
like
think although sorry, I actually sent this over to you on Discord. I know that CME now and obviously the ETF and everything does make a lot of kind of OI and volume and everything, but it was pretty clean. And one of the reasons when I was actually shorting this last week, kind of a Coinbase and Binance order books were playing decent kind of part. Especially on Coinbase, it was kind of very, very clean, that kind of moved to the upside, filled a lot of asks that were just kind of pending higher, and led to this kind of sell. So I just want to say that like it's probably not, it's still pretty decent to not completely like disregard like the Binance and Coinbase and all these kind of venues, rather than just like think about this is going to be solely CME volume or the ETF based kind of volume.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't. I fully agree with you. I got somebody asked me a question, and asked if we could cover it during the stream. I butcher it a little bit, but basically the premise is: what do we think? How will the order flow look like now for BTC specifically? Now since we have the ETF, because we kept mentioning with the whole ETF narrative was we cannot really see a lot of the CME positioning data, right? We had some of the delayed data from COT or whatever the website was, some of it through Velodata, but like we couldn't do like 30 minutes CVD shit because we never really knew how the people how are they hedging what and whatnot for your options, because obviously I guess smart money. Do you think with the spot ETF approvals, 9 of them if I'm not mistaken, does it end? Do you think like order flow will still have some sort of edge in it, or maybe does it change and move more towards the, as you said, like heat maps, and
I
resting
think
liquidity?
like with the obviously with the CME contract, like with the futures contract, we cannot really do much there because any kind of open interest, it's only updated once a day. It's only kind of published at the end of the day, so there's not this kind of a real time data that we have in normal exchanges. I think one of the things that we can kind of start to look at, but is just a delta changes on the like stuff like footprint charts and these kind of real time order flow indicators on the futures contract, because obviously although there is no open interest in the real time, all these kind of orders and everything, you can still see that on the CME. So that's that. But and with the ETF, I don't know. I'm not even sure there is like I never looked at it. Like I never traded any ETFs. I never kind of actively watched any ETFs. But I imagine it would be similar to something like S&P 500. Obviously, a lot of people are trading the ES, which is the futures contract, but at the same time, a lot of people are also trading SPY, using options. So you have this kind of a fragmentation of order flow even in legacy markets, and I still think there is a decent amount of edge in just like solely looking at the futures contract itself. So at the end of the day,
So
I
we're
believe
not out
that
of business, me and you. We can still LARP as order flow,
yeah,
European
we
permabears,
can still
centralized exchange scalpers. Everything is going to zero. Perfect. Thanks, man.
yeah, we can still LARP online. It's all good because I believe that like behavior of people is not really going to change that much, even though obviously these are different products and different people are going to trade them. I think the order flow on the CME always has been a little tricky to kind of interpret. I know like people, obviously we went up now a lot with the CME open interest going up a lot, but these are very expensive contracts to kind of trade, and I saw some tweet of someone posting the CME chart with like the open interest just like dumping so much. It's just like on one day basically completely just flashed. It was around the time when BTC made a little bit of a correction, and it was obviously this kind of it's so over, CME closing, shorting, whatever, but it was only a quarterly contract rollover where basically everyone is just going to close their positions because they need to roll to the new quarter type of situation. So it's a little more complex in these markets, and I believe that like most of that flow on CME is also just hedging. So yeah, I still believe that what's going to be most useful is just a native kind of native exchanges, basically Binance, and even these heat maps were very reliable. I was pretty surprised how reliable these were during last few weeks, even months. I was always kind of shitting on heat maps, but
Hey,
yeah,
Kingfisher, we're looking for sponsorship.
but yeah, it just feels like with crypto, because I tried these heat maps in like legacy markets, never really found much of a use case there, but with crypto it just seems like people don't care. People like don't care to hide their positions, and it's not even on altcoins, it's even on BTC as well. Like there was this huge wall on Coinbase before the rally. There was like many situations in last few weeks where someone just literally just put a wall, or like just started buying and just like had resting orders underneath the price or above the price. and they were just genuine orders, and people just didn't care because like 99% of traders don't look at this type of stuff anyway. So yeah, it's been quite reliable. On top of that, obviously looking at derivatives data, um when people just kind of aping in the perps, with funding going skyrocketing and open interest going much higher. I think going forward, these are still going to be your kind of best signals to look at when it comes to order flow, rather than try to do some fucking 4D chess, ETF cross, CME futures order flow analysis, whatever, which will most likely just let you completely confused rather than getting anything useful from it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, or like I guess interesting topic could be the whole sell the news, because you started the stream today with like we got the sell the news, but I think, and I feel like at least from price action and even order flow and like sentiment on CT and group chats feels like nobody knows nothing, at least personally, and I was quite surprised to have this outcome, if you will. Like if I do for our H4 chart, like yes, the move was 15%, but we're still in like a weekly range. So, from I don't know volume profile perspective, we're I guess consolidating. There was this. Or sorry, let me put it this way, or let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on the whole? This will be a difficult question. The whole ETF arbitrage, market makers, delayed data, GBTC selling, redemption mechanism, because like it kind of feels like, I don't want to call it like mid curving, but price did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, it's like I trade more markets than BTC. I trade some like legacy stuff, and even like when with altcoins, and like a lot of my trades, like the short that I took on BTC last week was basically we traded at this 2022 high at 48.2. There were people buying perps. There were some size getting filled on the offers on the spot market. So this kind of a very classic setup of, if you will, the kind of a thing that I trade over and over again, which I can kind of journal. I can kind of come back into these kind of fixed set of rules, if you will, of the trades that I take. And there is not really, I don't have a fucking trading plan which has a chapter on ETF approvals, or
How dare you?
cross
LARP,
ETF
unfollowed.
cross ETF arbitrage, buying, selling, market making, whatever. So for me, I don't want to be like it's just a noise or whatever, but at the same time I don't have any, I don't have any kind of rules for this. I it's not something that you trade, like it's quite a unique situation. And you can either just go like super deep into the rabbit hole, which I believe that will most likely leave you just super confused with what's going on, or just like continue to trade as normal, and obviously journal stuff, journal trades that you take. Obviously if you kind of see things are not working out at the moment, reduce size or whatever, but
Or
I
don't
think
trade at
it's
all.
much, yeah, or just like go on vacation or whatever.
Yeah, I think you played it the
Like,
best. Like, you shorted the top. I don't know if you're still holding, if you mentioned it, but
no. I closed the trade at 40. Yeah, I just held it within like a day. Yeah, just closed it around 42K ish.
oh wow,
Yeah.
shorted the top, sold the bottom. Thanks for playing. Went on vacation.
Yeah,
I mean,
missed the whole leg up for three months. Thanks for playing.
Capo was right.
Yeah.
No, but I
No,
agree with you. I agree with you that I feel like nobody really has edge. Maybe like if you like actually understand the mechanics, which is, with all due respect, probably no one in the audience, including us too. Like, like no, like you've seen even the credible accounts like Balkunas or DB, Reuters, basically confusing the data. And like today we had this flush. If I go on like 5 minute chart, which was instantly bought back up because you had like US Open, right? And we had the 9,000 or whatever Bitcoin move, instantly full retraced. And I even tweeted about it, but it's basically, I can do this. And like basically people shorting the fuck, you know, like open interest going up by like 7,000 contracts, and then fully, you know, like a full Burj Khalifa on one, like what,
Yeah.
when basically I see this and so with like all, I'm adding these puzzles together. So, okay, was it really sell the news? We're within the range. Order flow looks fuckery. GB, like people are clearly, you know, like remember when there was like a meme in 2021, 2022, Bybit apes? I feel like all centralized exchange traders are now apes, and like I'm watching this and I'm personally not participating. I also closed my short in 42s, and but like I don't I mean it probably for me applies for every time I'm trading, but I realize and I'm confident enough to say I have zero edge right now on BTC. So, and I feel like many people are left disappointed, or like remember the whole, is it buy the rumor, is it buy the sell the news, whatever like people call it these days. I feel like it was neither. So
Yeah, I think like it's like I think I believe a lot of people were kind of expecting this is just going to, you know, dump from 48k to fucking 12k after the ETF release, and that was their kind of a perception of the sell the news situation. Which, you know, to be fair, like sell the news type of situation can be, it's just like this was the top and BTC will just like slowly correct, you know, towards 30k ish or whatever price, you know, over the next quarter basically. You know, it's just like, and that would still be the sell the news situation, but it will just like take longer than, you know, people have such a kind of a short attention span for a lot of these things. So like if, you know, like if BTC for example is trading at 35k or 30k in 2 months from now, you know, like you can say this was a sell the news event basically, because like
yeah, I
we
hear.
topped out at the release and, you know, we sold from there, but it obviously just took way longer than a lot of people are kind of willing to be in the positions or whatever. I think to be fair, and like when it comes to these kind of fundamental things, and it's not only the ETF now, like but like a bunch of stuff that I traded in the past. Like I always, and I think this kind of a good recommendation is to kind of not trying to overstay your welcome when it comes to, you know, holding trades. Like I don't really care, you know, where the price is going to be, you know, in a month, even like a week from now, because there's just like so many new information that can come in anytime. You know, like we had this grayscale selling today, you know, news and
But it's
you know,
technically
with
not
the
selling, right? It's transferring coins. Like
yeah. But like there's my point is like there's going to be like so many new
yeah,
kind of pieces of information coming in. You know, this is not your kind of usual you know, what we have basically a year ago, where, you know, you have FOMC once a month, you have CPI once a month, and it's like, oh, there's a news, there's going to be maybe volatility for a little bit, you know, type of situation. This is obviously much kind of a bigger, what, you know, there are going to be some more kind of unexpected situations. So in situations like this, it's just like way harder to hold things for longer, because obviously you know, you can just get like shaken out, round trip stuff, and so on and so forth. So I always kind of try to just like reduce the holding periods, you know, for a little bit at least.
I have 3 lines. Oh no, I cannot believe we're talking about monthly. This is like total disbelief of most of our content is like 10-second time frame, order flow, CVD, crossover, Zimbabwe Open, FOMC, OPEX. But here we are, 2024, new year, new me, I guess. I mean, as for me, I've taken 2 trades this year, and I'm almost up more than in all of my scalping days combined. So I kind of probably I'm going full rainbow charts, stock to flow models instead. But my lines are like monthly levels 47, which is close to the level you had. I mean, it's like this is very advanced TA, obviously, but you know, like monthly looks, in my opinion, pretty fucking bad. Like obviously it's still 14 days to go, and I'm gonna go full copy trade Donald, but I will wait for monthly, you know, to give us maybe more context. crazy thing is we can go literally to 35k and it would look so fucking bullish, but I can already tell the sentiment on CT will be basically suicidal. It will be, you know, people will be sharing suicide prevention lines, while it like structurally it's so bullish anyways. And I think levels line up on weekly as well. Like we could literally retest like the previous. Do you think like going to 35 to 32 would still be structurally like looking good, or?
Yeah, I definitely think like basically just what you said. Like even if BTC goes to like if from this is a weekly chart, like even if we would go to 30 to 25k, it's still just a retest of that kind of a consolidation, but which basically was the main thing of the whole last year. From it's what are these from like March until basically we started rallying, so like 6 months of sideways we had last year. And like as long as that kind of holds, yeah, basically something.
I know
like
this is like 20% range. You can just make the box bigger.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is still would be looking solid. Obviously, if this kind of happens, you just buy a spot, maybe
Yeah.
layer the orders underneath that. Take it slow, but yeah, it's like it can happen. Like we can go retest it in 6 months. So I don't know, like if market is going to be weak and there is a short to take from 40k to 35, 30, 28, whatever, that I'm basically all for that. I'm just not going to like sit on my hands and be like, okay, I'm just going to buy 35 and see you in next 2028 once I get the retest or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like there is well, like my thoughts on the GBTC. It's like I feel like from my understanding, people were stuck in this instrument or like financial vehicle, whatever trust you want to call it, for a very long time, and it goes back to actually 2020. So basically, people now, I feel like it's just a bit of rebalancing. Like why you're withdrawing from grayscale product and putting it into something that has cheaper fees, anyways. So that would be your BlackRocks or whatnot. So I feel like the data in the like next few weeks, I expect it to be a bit of I have no edge, so I'm just sitting on the sideline and waiting. Or one thing for sure, since I think we can slowly transition into ETH and ETH BTC, our favorite coin, of course.
Go.
Hey, pardon me, brother. Not yet, but basically, like, I'm just thinking how it's gonna transition, because you have Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, going on CNBC or whatever and talking like how they want to tokenize entire economy. People speculating, is it going to be Chainlink? Is it going to be your favorite layer 2? Is it going to be ETH? But then saying also like ETH good, basically. And with the whole Ethereum ETF deadlines coming up, like it will be really, I think this year will be very interesting. And I kind of like the fact that nobody seems to have much edge, because halving is coming up, right, in 3 months from now or 4 months, something like that. So if like there is this sell the news, front running, flows, Mt. Gox, GBT, it's just so much shit. So it's gonna be interesting. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's very very hard with just like trying to predict what will price is going to be a few months from now. And I obviously know that that's like a ultimate Twitter cloud situation when you are able to hit tell what the price of anything is going to be 3 months from now. But yeah, I feel like it's almost a kind of a counterproductive to try to look much into the future, considering how much just is happening basically at the moment.
Yeah, so conclusion, up or down, nobody fucking knows. Thanks for playing. You just do ref link, buy the paid course, join the paid group.
Yeah,
like,
for BTC, personally, I don't know. I still feel like the sell-off we had towards the end of the week was kind of decently significant. If we would kind of rally towards the 46, maybe that would be just like a lower time frame retest. And I would be just maybe looking for short there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm same. Like, so you're saying, so just to confirm, basically, easy super setup, short here, invalidation above the highs.
Yeah,
Targeting
something like
12K.
yeah,
Yeah.
targeting me minus 12K.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if I would short this blindly, but yeah, if he would rally towards the 46, look for all the usual suspects in terms of large OI increase, people just doing stupid shit, and maybe we'll find short there. If BTC would drop from here towards the 40K, which would be under all those kind of wick lows, which was
So like
actually
losing all this, I guess, what do ICT people call it, liquidity?
yeah, basically if you would have like a quick sell-off underneath 40K, and then it would start to bounce, and I think it would be a decent long.
Yeah, like
So
reclaim.
like my two levels basically to kind of leave people with something would be 40K and 46K. If we break under 40K and quickly buy back, I think it's a good long. And if we just rally from here to 46 and market start to look kind of shaky, then it would be a decent short play.
Yeah, even
kind of
from
both of these
from
have like
profile
sorry,
perspective.
just,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, like both of these would have these like a nice invalidations, with just like whatever you kind of bought back into, and yeah, from the profile perspective, you'll be most likely just reclaiming some sort of balance that you made in the last month or so. So yeah, be nice trade.
Yeah, like I would be under any circumstances, because like there's a war in the Middle East, there's a war, like geopolitical conflict without picking sides in, Eastern Europe. Now you have some like China, Taiwan shit. Like risk assets seem not to like. Basically what I'm trying to rationalize in my head. I don't know what would have to happen. Obviously, black swans or like quote unquote unprecedented events of volatility, if you will, happen. But cannot in my head as of right now. I cannot really comprehend the like idea what would have to happen for us to, go to let's say 26s like or like mid 20s. It's just maybe it's
Yeah.
the classic cope of missing the entire or like most of the rally and now being like no dips ever. I'm gonna miss out the entire bull run, man. But
Yeah, I think it would be just like a kind of a loss, like no interest in the ETFs type of situation where people just like once again stop just caring about crypto. Would be probably the narrative of just like bigger sell-off, low inflows into ETFs, and just like no one gives a shit basically.
But there's this very good argument I've seen from many smart people is like a lot of these ETF providers, so these asset managers, are very good at like basically wash trading their whole thing, to not look bad. So imagine you like BlackRock, whatever, Vanguard, whatever these companies are, and have like 50 million inflows. So they basically get some. I don't know. It's like are there more productive things in my life I could do than speculate with Balkunas and telling him he's stupid, that he's just
Yeah. Okay. So I think we covered BTC quite a bit. So now it's time to your favorite thing in the world.
hell yeah.
ETH. Okay, so ETH, after getting the most shit I've probably ever seen any market got on Twitter, finally kind of rallied. And yeah, we were rewarded. I was long as well, probably not as much as you were, but I had some ETH longs as well. So finally, after taking shit for the last 4 months, I felt something. But yeah,
Touch of
ETH,
your
I think-
uncle.
Yeah, definitely same kind of a higher time frame resistance, if you will, on a monthly. But I still think that it has like some room to go higher. Maybe like obviously that monthly kind of area is like 50% or 30%. These kind of a yeah.
I don't know. This is like
So,
TA one. It's like just watch Cred's TA series for the first time and opening TradingView for the first time levels.
Yeah, like make a $800 box and be like, okay, I'm just gonna.
Thanks for
playing
playing.
here. Yeah. Yeah. I think ETH is looking still solid, especially like if you just look at, like if you just compare the sell-off between ETH and BTC from last week, obviously, ETH BTC, I think it's still up a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I think at the moment, there is this like a big level of SR on ETH at like 2400s, a little lower. That kind of basically the consolidation we broke from, was like 2400-ish. Maybe if you just like zoom in a little bit, or yeah, basically this would
Another
be the nice
20%
kind of
move.
area. Yeah, like if you can hold this, then I think ETH is looking pretty well.
It's
And I
like,
would,
let me cope about the ETH BTC. I feel like Bitcoin ETF, we kind of agreed it was semi successful, even though we don't know the inflows, not much marketing yet. Market didn't really nuke, but like I feel like the ETF around this coin could lead, I guess. But I guess in also like the whole market cycle meme is you have Bitcoin move, right? So there was the Bitcoin dominance run, highest since whenever, ETF approved. Then it's altcoins, then it's like shitcoins and on chain and NFTs. So let's see if that can be respected. But even if I'm right on the ETH BTC pair, it's probably bearish for like overall market. Like if we going more and more retard. Also ETH has, since it's called Musical Chairs is the name of the show because we used to discuss narratives, and there is tomorrow actually the launch of the testnet of the Duncan thingy on ETH.
yeah, we talked about that last year.
So yeah, it's launching tomorrow, the testnet, and the mainnet I believe is end of February. So it's kind of in my head like ideal playbook is a bit of nothing burger now, successful testnet launch, sell the news on Bitcoin, or like a bit of correction because people get bored, and I feel like a lot of people went long in, a lot of people will be sweating when they're longs that are not moving. People expect forever up only market in bull runs.
Yeah.
And imagine like a correction and then into the Ethereum narrative, mainnet L2 craziness. I don't know. Obviously I'm just talking my book, but if that happens, fuck me, man. Because one thing about ETH BTC, I would like to, maybe we can switch for a sec there, is it's a very interesting autistic pair. And like one thing I've noticed with this pair is that it's trending very hard to both directions. And we just had like a, 2 years or 18 months worth of down only on it. But several times in this, at least like even like this history, is like when it moves hard and aggressively. And I think last week everybody got caught off guard. Basically, I remember at the lows, people were saying like, I'm muting ETH BTC from my timeline. Like ETH will never, the sentiment, the classic cope. Yeah. And then all of a sudden was long to the tits, obviously, wink, wink. Fucking posers. But, it's like it does this. And it's done many times on the lower time frames, but always fully retrace. I'm wondering if this is a retrace or it's maybe going to give another entry to the latecomers. But yeah, it's like when it trends hard. One of the great examples, I believe, is this ETH merge situation, when it basically goes up for 5 weeks up only. But also Bitcoin went up during this period, which is quite interesting. But yeah, let's see.
I think it's interesting. I don't know how many people actively trade. So obviously it's a little bit of just like a cross pair situation rather than, like a lot of people would be trading this like too actively. But yeah, it definitely can. A lot of these cross pairs, they just like, if they send, they just send, to either direction. So
what I would only like make a distinction. I agree, it's like a very 101 situation for this, and I'm heavily biased because a note bag's very heavy, mom's spaghetti, but this actually has like pair on Binance. It's not like you could obviously, yeah, and I guess worth mentioning because like how CT works, it's all about flexing PNL. So if you look at all the top Binance leaderboard people who tweet, they're all long ETH BTC. We had Light Crypto come tweet after 7 years of nothing burger saying that ETH up only, basically. So I'm hoping. Dude, I'm projecting
Yeah.
so hard. Such a cope on,
Yeah.
on stream. Okay. Like, please pump. But
with the like new sponsor of musical chairs.
but like I don't know. What did you ever look at like what do you think is a potential like I don't want to say reversal, but what could be first trouble area? Crypto cred, another terminology.
I'm not sure if you know like doing much of a TA on this just makes sense. It's really just like if ETH is just going to perform better than Bitcoin in the upcoming months.
Okay,
then
I give up.
obviously it's going to go up
I tried
only.
shilling my bags.
Yeah. Like obviously there are some levels, you know, like we traded at the lows, you know, bounced from that, but yeah, I don't know. I never really chart these things and
Okay. So should we do a TA on Dixie? What is dollar
yeah.
gonna do next?
yeah, basically like people
Okay.
fucking charting dollar index type of it's not even that, but like yeah, like people charting dollar index and talking about how it's going to affect BTC while it has like there's no, you know, Bitcoin is not inside the dollar index, the index basically at all. So
Fair. Like I guess
yeah,
on the last thing on this note is if BTC goes up, it's usually a good proxy for altcoins. Guess we could transition
Yeah.
a little bit. It's enough. I did not trade altcoins at all, but a lot of, you know, optimism made new highs, Arbitrum breaking out, SSV and like many Pentel, all these random shit coins basically moving.
ETH beta kind of situation was I feel like to be fair I haven't traded altcoins for a very long time as well.
Your favorite
You know,
coin?
I can
Holy shit. Lido.
I can yeah Lido probably as well. Like to be fair, you know, with kind of Christmas and me traveling at the moment and stuff, I'm kind of happy when I have a time to, you know,
Stream.
look at what ETH and BTC is doing rather than, you know, spend fucking vacation charting and going through 55 altcoins every day. But yeah, the ETH beta was basically I feel like the kind of only narrative, the only kind of strong one we had in the last few weeks. Other than that, I haven't really saw anything that would kind of be too interesting. We obviously had this fucking Solana meme coins season, which seems to be over now. But yeah,
Holy shit, what happened here? With I believe you talk shit about this coin like here at the Pico bottom. Or so, like I don't want to, you know, like when it's like reply guys going through Twitter and like, ha, you stupid, it went up, you know, like my 10,000 liquidity meme coin is not shit, but yeah,
this
like
one well, and yeah, I think this got listed somewhere or
oh, and
something.
Bybit.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is that I have a like a chat with like few of my like real life friends that basically only thing they do is this kind of degen stupid shit. They you know they are like beyond saving at this point. And I talked to them that like I think this is still going to be a good kind of long if it's going to get, you know, like Bybit listing or you know, listing from like a big exchange, and then I basically made fun of it on Twitter. I forgot about it and then got listed on Bybit. So yeah.
So basically, counter trade Adam. You have to join a special paid group for that.
Yeah.
No, I mean like me and you. I think it goes without saying. It's not. We're just too old and too mid curve to trade these things. So honestly, I genuinely think there could be like a very profitable ETF or like some sort of product if it's literally counter trading me and you, or it takes on these degen things.
Look with had ETF one.
What is our?
Yeah.
So if also sorry, let me just add kind of fill in the space. If somebody wants their coins reviewed, feel free.
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of agree right now. It's a bit of waiting game, at least for both of us. But we're biased because both traveling, holidays.
Yeah.
Let's look
Just
at
my
Bonk.
last point with this, and you know, Bonk is also one of the things that I don't know. Like I feel like.
Oh wow, not great, huh?
The correlation is still, you know, insanely high basically when it comes to like anything, you know. I believe obviously like you have these kind of a single names that just like do YOLO runs from time to time, but like I don't know. I just feel way more comfortable to trade ETH and BTC in terms of sizing, in terms of kind of a signals that I look at, and so on and so forth. Or some like maybe bigger altcoins would be better than that. But I wouldn't ever be probably able to just size into duck with head the same way that I would be. I would have the same conviction basically on something like ETH. So
But
yeah,
do
I
you
think
think
it's
do you think it could be changed if I know you will not, but just like hypothetically speaking, right? It is I think what big part of journaling or like what I've learned the hard way is like not only like a setup from like adding some sort of confidence to it or like confluence since you basically so what I'm trying to say you never traded meme coins so your position size you could get a fill on bonk there's no issue it's very liquid blah blah blah
yeah.
but like just for the fact that you never really did it and you basically boomer mindset of like fuck this I'm gonna stick to my Bitcoin. I think you could eventually learn how to trade these even with like this is very
I
liquid.
mean, to be fair, like okay, like yeah, bonk now obviously is liquid. The duckweed head is liquid as well. Probably was liquid on the and yeah, like
Somebody's shilling my bags.
bonk had a 70% rally from January 8th in like 3 days basically. The issue with these things is, and I know that like people don't really talk about it almost ever, is like when when you when you like trade ETH, for example, and your invalidation on a trade, like you are okay, if this goes like like 4 or 5% lower, you are probably not in the best spot. You should just like close the trade, whatever, and like you size into that kind of situation, accordingly, basically. And if ETH rallies, obviously ETH rallied, 20%, so you kind of made 4 times your risk, based on that kind of a initial idea that under if it just like goes 5% lower, it's probably not the best thing to hold anymore. And like I said, you just size into the trade, according to how much money you want to lose. But like if with
Yeah.
these things, like obviously this rallied 70% in the last 3 days, but at the same time, like I need to give
Which
this
coin
at
now? Sorry,
least,
bonk.
yeah, I think it was bonk. Like I need to give this, 20, maybe 30% kind of room, because like this shit just can like wick. I think you need to do that thousand bonk USDT per on TradingView.
Oh god.
Like this thing can just like very easily just wick 15-20% under the price.
Mm.
So if you kind of do the math on that, like if I'm risking 20% downside for 80% gain, comparing that to ETH where my invalidation is 4% comparing to 20% gain, it's basically the same thing, and it's still more liquid, bigger market or whatever. So yeah, this is why it's just a math thing. Obviously, there is this kind of aspect buying this 2 months ago when it was zero, and you made like the guy who was up like 10 mil was
It
probably
was
like
literally this Pico
less
top,
than that.
no? Like the Pico
Yeah.
Schmico.
It was so yeah. It's
And this is the
like
classic euthanasia roller coaster, if you've seen it.
yeah.
It's the classic.
Yeah, like meme coins have this kind of a reputation of just like life changing money, and like why would you trade BTC, which moves 3% when you can trade Bonk, which is up 75%. But if you just like do a little bit of math on sizing and conviction and stuff like that, you are very often much better off to just like be a little boomer in some of these situations.
But I think it's a beauty, or like, obviously we're very biased and we trade very similar style. Like me and you, paper-handed shit, all the time, and it's like, I feel like it's okay for whatever people watching, like to be like. I don't think we should be their benchmark of whatever is the correct. There's no correct way to trade. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if you feel like you have edge and maybe your bankroll is smaller and like you're just aping these shit coins and making money, I guess my only advice would be just please try to withdraw some from time to time, because like nothing worse than like making, let's say you make 100K in a day and in a week or month, and it's like, it's a lot of money to you, right? So let's say you turn 10K into 120. I think round tripping it to like 30 fucks with you a lot. Like it's 70 whatever percent drawdown from that all-time high goal / and you're back to the, and then people, but fucking two boomers. Like the fact that we're even talking about journaling is probably so unattractive to most people listening.
Imagine doing that. Yeah. Some coins.
Yes.
Someone mentioned Blur.
Blur. We can talk about Blur. It's a good one.
Blur has there is this blast thing, right, coming soon-ish.
Yes, but it's several things. For Blur, Blast, yes, that's one thing. The unlock of the L2 one-way bridge thingy, I don't quite know.
Oh, it's up a lot today.
Oh yeah, it's I believe it's also considered ETH beta, and it's a bet on NFT sector. But maybe somebody can. But yes, this is one of the best looking charts right now, apart from the Sei Sui Sol Apt, like the layer one. But this is legitimately a good looking chart.
Yeah.
So I don't know much to say. Like, I know there was an unlock, so it's quite interesting because remember how like a few months ago, even like 9 months ago, people were often asking us about unlocks, and it's interesting even for us, me and you. I don't know if you're autistic enough to notice, but I kind of do a bit of sentiment analysis of what questions we're being asked. And it's quite interesting that we definitely we're getting less and less meme coin requests, and we're definitely not getting any unlocks requests. You know what I mean? So it's quite interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just... There's some last news.
Yeah. I think people like this will most likely perform well until the blast unlock happens, which is, I believe, is like middle of February.
I'll have to check or message Loomdart.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blast.
Coins like GLQ, CSPR, I have like no idea what it is.
I know is CSPR Casper, but probably something me and you will talk shit about. Casper, yes, Casper.
And
I mean, it has some market cap. Like, what the fuck? Look, watch this chart. Like, I don't know what to tell you. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, there's even worse looking chart, and it's Evmos. Holy shit, it's pumping, man. Let's go. I'm talking. But look at this chart. It went from $4 to 0.009 or like 0.9. So, when we are getting asked to chart Evmos, let me know.
We are so back. Yeah. And I don't know about Matic. Like
Matic, let's see.
It's
unfortunate. Like, let me be very honest about Matic. People just seem to fucking hate Matic. I don't like literally. It's like Matic cannot catch a break. You have Trader SZ basically calling a crusade on the team. CT sentiment is like, it's not great. Like, I don't know. Do you have any such a strong relationship with project?
It just feels like it just like fell off. Like people just don't care or just, try to short it to zero. Like there is, when people talk about layer 2s, they always talk about just optimism and Arbitrum. Matic just doesn't really get any kind of traction, I feel like, at this point.
And do you think there's like a chance? Because I think what is very interesting when you scroll through Twitter from like 2017, 18, 19 calls, like, CT, me and you were not on CT back then, but when people made price prediction, they were talking about different layer 1, like Ethereum killers. So you would have EOS, Neo, and when you look at those charts, just forget. Yeah. Do you think Matic or like some of these other projects are basically going that route that is like no longer cool, no longer shiny?
Yeah, I definitely think that like, the likelihood of this making a new all-time high.
Remind me of this in 3 months. Remindor.
Let's see the biggest Matic rally that ever happened. Starting tomorrow, basically, just like going to $26.
Yeah, you need to do logarithmic, like. Like, thanks, Adam, going long.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there is like not much going on with Matic. In general, like if just like feel like Optimism and Arbitrum are just like better trades that are more popular. More people trade them, so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm just looking at the chart right now. I don't think there is something like super interesting when it comes to price action, order flow, basically anything
Yeah.
on Matic on a weekly. Had like
Narratively agree.
same kind of sell-off. Still stuck in the range type of situation. I think.
Holy
I
shit,
don't know.
ARB looks good. Oof. I think the takeaway from this is it doesn't just like this is not aimed towards any project, because what I could give us, me and you, a compliment is we don't actually marry the bags. We give equally zero fucks about everything, which I think can be good and bad. But like if you're talking shit about a project, it's not from a place of hate. It's a bit of just, I guess, reality of a. I think we can agree on the fact that, especially on like CT and these group chats or these hype cycles, it just comes and goes. Like, remember when Chili's pumped in like 2020? It was like supposed to be the future of everything, and now what I'm trying to say. It's just the cycles move on, kind of. And it's important not to be stuck holding like some old promise that was sold to you, some idea like, this is gonna kill Ethereum, because the new layer 1 comes, the new layer 2 comes, and it's kind of hard obviously to know when to exit, when to rotate. But I think the takeaway is just don't marry any bags apart from Bitcoin and ETH maybe, or Sol at this point. But yeah, what the fuck is that line at the bottom? Which one? Yeah, this indicator, sorry, I believe this is like Coinbase and Binance, how do you call it? So yeah, exactly. What the fuck are those lines? So yeah, but because there was like a big thing, remember during the whole CME, like, oh, at a discount, I'm gonna remove it. It's literally a waste of my time. So.
You just removed the drawings. Yeah. Okay. So I think with all of this, we are kind of nearing the hour.
Yeah.
Stream.
Sorry to make it all Bitcoin and ETH, but yeah, boomer stream.
We will see. I think like there has been a decent kind of shift from both of us. I feel like in the last few months we were really only talking about the BTC and ETH, and I think like the most trades were I really can't remember when I took like the last trade that I took was that ARP trade in like October, when everything kind of started to pop off on altcoins, which was like a kind of decently sized position or whatever. So yeah, let's see if things are going to change. I still feel like with there is a decent amount of volatility, so you can if you are able to pick one or two good trades per week on either Bitcoin and ETH, with the amount of volatility we are getting, you're gonna be more than well. You don't need to really trade 50 things at the same time. I feel like, at least personally, obviously if you have time to that, and you can just rotate to all the.
I have one closing words, because I know people who are here from like your side of things. They look at TradFi as well. It is OPEX week, so about a potential volatility fuckery, and there's earnings coming up. A bit of meme, but I would not be surprised if basically every single tech stock company beats earnings and we make new all-time highs again. And maybe if Bitcoin now is like more correlated, I know you hate this argument and you every time want to literally end me, but maybe with the ETFs, Bitcoin actually does get back with the correlation. So as of right now, we're doing fucking nothing, both enjoying lives on holidays, and yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I think we will do our best to do it a week from now.
Yes, according to you.
Yeah.
Cool. Hele, have a good day.
See you. Bye bye.